The Diamondbacks have a glaring issue with their roster as of the end of 2025, and that is their bullpen. While management is going to do everything they can to add to the arms and relief, we have a handful of prospects that are actually here right now and will almost be certainly seeing in 2026.
You are Locked On Diamondbacks, your daily Arizona Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, and welcome to the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast, the show where we talk nothing but the D-backs Monday through Friday. And thank you so much for making Locked On Diamondbacks your first listen every single day. I am your host, Danon Biggs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. You guys, today I am very excited to share some exclusive interview footage that I got yesterday at the Salt River Rafters Arizona Fall League game. We are officially Locked On Diamondbacks, officially recognized with media credentials, so we're as legit as it gets now. And boy, was I like so just I think I looked like a kid lost at an amusement park. I'm just like, I don't know where to go, and I'm like asking other like reporters and stuff. I'm like, hey, what do I do now? Who do I talk to? So hopefully that gets a little easier, but it was super fun. And I got the chance to speak with Kyle Amendt, who's a relief pitcher in our system, AAA. We're going to talk more about him here in a little bit, but he pitched in yesterday's game, got a 1-2-3 out inning in just 11 pitches. He got 2 strikeouts, looked really, really good. He pitched right after Dre Jameson, another one of our relief pitchers, pitched the inning before, also got 1-2-3 with 1 strikeout in 12 pitches. But Amendt was gracious enough to let me chat with him and put a camera in his face and ask him some awkward, not ask him awkward questions, but ask him questions awkwardly like I did. And we got it all on video. So we're going to go ahead and show that to you guys right now. And I think pay attention. I tried to ask questions kind of relating more to the league as a whole and the experience that they're having as players and what that means for the future of the team. So enjoy and let me know what you think.
Kyle, for all of our listeners watching right now and listening, how do you pronounce your name?
Amendt.
Amendt. It's not Amendt.
No.
It's Amendt.
Amendt.
Not, and there's the D is silent.
D is silent. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I want you to tell me really quick just kind of why you're here in the Fall League. Why is the Fall League important to you and all these other people playing today? What's the big deal?
So like for me, I missed 3 months this year with shoulder injury. So I'm kind of just making up innings while I'm here. Trying to get back the 3 months that I lost, just build the inning count up for next year, essentially. That's a lot of guys. Some guys are prospects and they just org wants like more ABs, more innings to kind of evaluate them. But for me, it's the injury and getting some more innings.
Okay. And what's your goal for the upcoming season, 2026? Are you like, I mean, as somebody who's in the system and you're in the minors and you're looking, obviously the end goal is make it to the majors.
Yep.
But yeah, what is like when you think about 2026 start to finish, do you see yourself being in the majors in 2026 at some point? Like what's your mindset with 2026?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the goal is to get up to the big leagues, and I feel like I had some really good outings up in Reno. Like my first month up there before I got hurt was pretty good. And I feel like I had a pretty decent about month when I got back up there. Walks kind of ticked up a little bit, but the strikeouts were still there. The biggest thing though is just staying healthy next year and making the full season. I think that gives me the best chance to make it up to the big leagues, but also just gives me a chance. Yeah, I mean, you can't make it up there if you're sitting in the training room. So, yeah.
Nice. So today's game specifically, 11 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. That was 2 3 up, 3 down innings by 2 Diamondback pitchers. So really good for the team today.
Yeah.
The first out was a pop fly, and obviously you're not wanting loud outs as a pitcher.
Yeah.
Do you see a big deep pop fly like that as kind of a failure, or is that like, oh, okay, we'll take it, or what goes through your mind as a pitcher when something like that happens, as opposed to the following 2 outs, which are strikeouts?
No, it's a success. Anytime you can get outs, no matter how hard they're hit or how soft they're hit, it's kind of the same thing as like a foul ball home run. It's just a long strike, right? So that's really all it is. Anytime you can get an out and throw the least amount of pitches you can, that's a plus. Yeah. So definitely not a failure at all. Obviously, the strikeouts are more fun to get, but anytime you can get a quick out in 2 pitches, you take that.
Sweet, nice. Now I have video of that out. Was that you that swore on the? Was that you that shouted the swear word?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm pretty quiet on the mound. Yeah, you're not gonna get much out of me. So no, I saw it and I got a little worried there, but once I saw the outfielders kind of slowing down and getting there, I kind of knew it was a routine fly ball.
On the mound, do you usually have a good read on where the ball's going when it makes contact, or is it kind of not till you turn around and see your fielder's ball?
Sometimes I have a good read, sometimes I don't. Definitely been looking at some fly balls that I'm like, oh, that's definitely caught, and it goes out. And then there's the other ones where you see a hit and you're like, oh, it's definitely gone, and it's a routine fly ball. So, but for the most part, I feel like I have a pretty decent read on it. There's some outliers here or there. When they sound a little bit different off the bat, that kind of throws it off a little bit. But no, for the most part, pretty decent one.
Cool. Well, nice. Well, Kyle, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And looking forward to your next outing. Yeah, great game today.
Thank you.
Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth, between 401ks, savings, and investments. It's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why I started using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch's visual dashboards and smart tools make it so much easier to understand where my money's going and how to make it work harder for me. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and boom, you're in the game. Download the Prize Picks apps today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. So you saw there, Kyle Amendt. It's not Amendt. It's spelled Amendt, which if you're watching this, you can see it on the screen in the graphic right there. But I certainly pronounced his name wrong a few times on this show. And so I figured I'll break the ice and have him say something like that, which my first name is Danon. And most people see my name and they assume it's a typo. So I'm kind of in the same ballpark as Kyle there. But let's talk a little bit about Kyle. And if it is like he said, he's hoping, his goal is to make the postseason. His goal is to make the majors in 2026. So does he really have a chance? Well, let's look at it. So he signed with the Diamondbacks in 2023 as a 9th round pick out of Pleasantville, Iowa, at the age of 23. I don't want to tell you what I was doing at 23, but it certainly wasn't signing with a professional baseball team. He played a game of rookie ball before then moving up and playing 9 games in low A ball, and then moved up again in 2024 in high A, and then got promoted to double A after putting up a .68 ERA in 13.1 innings. He gave up just 1 earned run in that 13.1 innings in high A. He played 2 months in Amarillo before again getting promoted to Reno in AAA before the end of the season. He threw 12 innings in AAA. So he skyrocketing through the system. He gets signed, plays 1 game of rookie ball, and is already like, oh, okay, nope, you're going up. He's in low A, and he plays a few games there, and then he plays high A, and then immediately gets promoted again, and then again. And so Amendt really, I think, has progressed very quickly, and he played the fall league. He played for the Rafters, Salt River Rafters, in 2024. And then in 2025, he started in Reno, but between May 23rd and August 29th was out on injury. He only threw in 27 games. So he didn't get very many appearances. Like he said in the interview, he like many other players who are in the fall league are there to get a little bit more, to add innings to their repertoire, I guess, to their resume, which I didn't think about too much. But you do look at players and you're like, oh man, this guy's really good, but he only played in AAA for 20 games or whatever, or 30 games. He's going to need some more reps before he's ready for the big leagues. And I didn't connect the pieces. I kind of just assumed the fall league was kind of like a just bonus, like competition. Like, oh yeah, it's for those who want to play. It's fun. It's a good time. Sure, you kind of, show your stuff a little bit, you practice a little bit, but I didn't really think about it as a supplement to a season that maybe wasn't as full as they would have liked. And so obviously there are a lot of prospects that are just trying to improve their game and their skill and show what they got. But I really was grateful for Kyle for sharing that with me. So that was really cool. He had 3 save opportunities and closed 2 of them in Reno in 2025. He had a 3.03 ERA, which was very, very impressive. Only gave up 10 earned runs, 1 home run, and he had 42 strikeouts in the 27 games that he played. Before the injury, he mentioned walks, that after he came back from his injury, his walk rate kind of ticked up. But I actually did the research, and it looks like before the injury, he pitched 19.2 innings and gave up 13 walks. After the injury, he pitched 10 more innings and gave up 6. So he actually had 0.677 walks per inning before, and then he had 0.6 walks per inning after. So it actually went down a bit, but really it was fairly consistent. So he gives up a walk every other inning, or every 4 batters or so. Not batters, sorry, every 4 outs or so. So he is working on getting innings to make up time lost on the injured list. And I think that honestly, compared to a lot of other guys in the lineup, a lot of people that are in AAA, and I looked through this, and we're going to talk about this more here in just a minute, but he honestly has a really good shot, assuming he stays healthy, at making an appearance in the majors in 2026. Obviously you're kind of like hopeful that you don't need to be calling people up because your guys are healthy and they're doing well. But we know that that's obviously not reasonable. I mean, in 162 games, there's going to be injuries, there's going to be slumps, and there's going to be opportunities for the guys in Reno and AAA to get called up and to show their stuff. And I think Amendt is next in line, honestly. Now, I did look at all of our pitchers that we have, all of our relief pitchers that we have on our 40-man roster or on our active roster, as well as a bunch that we have in Reno. And so we're going to go over those and kind of compare and contrast and see both where Amendt is in relation to all of those, and just kind of also what we can who we can expect to see in the next season. Because as we said, the bullpen and the starting rotation are the biggest crutches for the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, and I was looking into this because a lot of people were talking about the Mets and how the Mets need pitching just as bad as we do, and they aren't going to trade, their pitching prospects for Ketel Marte, and how that's really just not going to happen. And so I went and looked at our run differentials and everything like that. And the Diamondbacks, you guys, the Diamondbacks offense we had 791 runs scored in 2025, which is more than all other teams that didn't win a postseason, or it was more than all teams that made it to the postseason, except for the Brewers, the Dodgers, and we missed the Cubs by 2. So we had the 4th most runs scored in the entire National League. And our run differential, for reference, the Cubs run differential, who we lost, they have 2 more runs than us. Their run differential is 144. They scored 144 more runs than they gave up. And they scored only 2 more runs than we did. Our run differential was 6. Single digit plus 6. We allowed 785 runs in 2025. That is a lot. There are only 1, 2, 3 teams. So we had the 4th best hitting in the National League and the 4th worst pitching in the National League. Yeah, when you're like, well, the Rockies had worse than us. Great. That's awesome. So it's just if you can just get the pitching to be average, the Diamondbacks are a playoff team this year and last year. We'd have made the playoffs 3 years in a row if our pitching was just average. And that's kind of frustrating. And so obviously that's what management is looking into. But the thing I want to explore is is our farm system going to be paying off this year when it comes to our bullpen? So we're going to talk about that right after this break. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. And that's where Rougiet comes in. Rougiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiet makes it to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments, and prescribe your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit Rougiet.com, RUGIET.com/LockedOnMLB to get 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnMLB so they know we sent you. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves. So right now, our relief pitchers that we have in let's talk about our fall league pitchers, our relief pitchers that are in the fall league right now. Yesterday at the game that I attended, that I was in the press box watching, it was awesome. I felt like a legit person for once in my life. We had Dre Jameson and Kyle Amendt, who pitched back-to-back innings, and then in game 2, because it was a doubleheader, we had Jordan Chalice, who I'm going to have to ask him how to pronounce his name too if I get the chance, who pitched 2 innings in the second game. And I'll go ahead and in game 2, Chalice, who is in our AA system, or on our AA team in Amarillo, his stats look fine. Like, I mean, it's not anything incredible, but it's fairly good in AA. But his numbers in the fall league, he has yet to give up a run, and he gave up his first walk yesterday. And he's been out there a good deal. So he's been very, very successful. He won a game, the game that I went to with my daughter on last Wednesday. He ended up getting the win in that game. So he's been very impressive, and I'm excited to see if his numbers improve dramatically or even just a little bit in 2026. He's not going to be in the majors in 2026. I don't expect to see an appearance from him in 2026, but I don't even think that he'll necessarily make AAA to start, but he definitely will, especially if he keeps this up. He definitely will make it to Reno fairly quickly in 2026. So that's exciting, and he's got some really good looking stuff. Kyle Amendt, we've kind of already talked about him, but in 2025, in his short stint in Reno, he had 3.03 ERA. So we're gonna hold on to that. The next guy we need to talk about is Dre Jameson. Now, he is not really a prospect because he's already made quite a few appearances in the majors. But let's go ahead and run through his history. So he is, if you don't know, Dre Jameson is a very, very impressive and talented pitcher. The problem, and the reason we haven't seen him, is because he seems to hurt his elbow a lot. Now, he throws very fast. He throws 99 plus mile per hour fastballs. He's got a real good combination, and he's a very, very talented pitcher. But yeah, his elbow keeps giving out, and he needs Tommy John surgery, and he goes into recovery, and then it re-aggravates, and he misses a whole season and a half, and just stuff like that. So, but let's go ahead and look at this. So he played 5 months in AAA before getting called up to the majors. He started 4 games, pitched 24 and a third innings, and in those 24 innings, he only gave up 4 runs. And he finished his season that year in the majors. He had a 3-0 record. So pretty darn good. And that is in 2022. So that was a good while ago. He, in 2023, started 3 games and came into the game in relief in 12 games. And he had an ERA of 3.32 in 40 innings pitched. So not quite as good, but still pretty impressive. However, he did get injured in July of that year, so he missed out on August and September and October because we went to the playoffs and World Series. So he missed all of that, and then needed Tommy John surgery and was out for the entirety of 2024. In 2025, he played 3 games, pitched 3 innings, gave up a single run, and then was injured again in May. And then he was sent in he started some rehab, started playing in the minors just to kind of get things going again and as part of the recovery, and he got injured again. So he ended up just being out the whole of 2025, except for 3 innings that he pitched. He is now currently playing in the fall league. He's looking good. He's throwing real hard. He pitched again, like I said, he pitched in yesterday's game. He threw 99.1, 99.3 miles per hour. He got a 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout and in 12 pitches as well. He's been looking very good in the fall league. So assuming he stays healthy, will certainly, I think, he'll definitely be in spring training. He's going to have to earn his spot, but I think it's his to lose. Dre Jameson has always been somebody that we've been waiting on to be healthy and to get back into the majors. And so Dre Jameson will be a great addition to the bullpen. And but we'll see how he does. You get guys who look great on paper and are great in the minors, but then you throw them in the bullpen, and if there's something that other players can take advantage of, or if they have the book on him in some way, then maybe he won't. But I have high hopes for Jameson. That'll be really great to see him back in the Diamondbacks lineup and hopefully filling a much needed role in the Diamondbacks bullpen. I want to now look at a handful of players that got called up this year and kind of just see what their minor league career looked like and kind of compare that. I'm still kind of looking at Amendt, and I just want to see kind of where he stands amongst these other guys that have made it and are still listed on the active roster. And so let's do that. One guy who I think did a very good job was Philip Abner. He only pitched 3.2 innings, but a lot of those he came in with 2 outs and got the final out kind of stuff. So I think it was 5 games total that he pitched. But in his season, his 2025, he went from high A to double A to triple A to the majors all in one season. Abner rocketed through the minors. He had, in all of the minors combined, he had a 2.81 ERA, and AAA, which he was only in for 8.1 innings, so 8 1/3 innings, he had an ERA of 0. So he didn't give up a single run in AAA in those 8 1/3 innings. In the majors, he gave up 2 runs. He's given up 2 runs in those 3 2/4 or 2/3 innings pitched. So Abner, now the question is Abner having that much success because he's just a new arm and nobody knows what he looks like, and that's something that people will figure out in the upcoming season? It might be, but to seeing how quickly he's progressed through the minors, that's very promising. And it makes me it gives me hope that he can be have a big role in the team as well. Though I wouldn't be surprised to see some regression in 2025 and maybe some back and forth between Reno and the majors. But if he'll have to earn his spot and he'll have to fight to keep it. But very promising, and I really like seeing what he was able to do in 2025. So excited to see that. Another one, Kyle Backus. In 2025, he pitched 26 1/3 innings in AAA and had a 2.05 ERA. So he looked very good. Kind of a small sample size, but for relief, 26 1/3 isn't bad. And then in the majors, 25 1/3. So combined, that's over 50 innings, which is a fairly good number of innings for a relief pitcher. In the majors, he had 4.62 ERA. So obviously not wonderful. He didn't blow everybody away, but he put up a respectable numbers over that period of time. And I think he's on the short list for regular in the bullpen. We have other guys. We have like Juan Burgos. We have Yilber Diaz. I want to talk about Brandon Garcia, who in the minors, he was between AA, AAA. He pitched 44 1/3 innings in 2025 and had an ERA of 3.45. so pretty good. In the majors, he pitched 12 innings and did have 8 earned runs, though that's pretty skewed. Is the small sample size, one bad game blows it all out of proportion. So his ERA looks pretty bad for 2025. But it's not as bad as it looks. And Garcia has some pretty wicked stuff that he's still working on placing, and I think he'll figure that out relatively quickly. And I think in 2026 he's going to be he's kind of the one that I feel the most confident in, if I'm being completely honest. Don't ask me why, but it's true. We also have guys like Andrew Hoffman, Bryce Jarvis, who, remember, Bryce Jarvis is young. Like he's still basically a prospect in a lot of ways. He's had a lot of experience in the majors. He's still learning. He's still figuring himself out. I think he definitely deserves a shot at a regular role on the team. We have Juan Murillo, Kyle Nelson. Another guy I wanted to talk about was Austin Pope. Now, he only had 2 innings. He only pitched 2 innings in the majors. He got called up well before his first outing, but we never got around to using him. But in AAA, he had a 4.6 ERA in 29 and a third innings pitched. So definitely not bad, though not necessarily mind-blowing either. But he did do very well, and I'm interested to see how he does. But again, that's 4.6 and 29 innings pitched. And we look at Amendt, who had a 3.03 in 27 games. I didn't write down the number of innings pitched. Oh, it's in 29.2 innings pitched. So yeah, Amendt and Pope are fairly comparable in the amount that they pitched, but yeah, Amendt's ERA considerably lower. So that's kind of cool to see. So that gives me that makes me think that if Amendt is able to stay healthy and consistent and continue to do what he's doing, that a call up is soon to happen. The last guy I really wanted to talk about, and not just because we're the same age, but is Taylor Rashi, who I think had a very good outing in AAA. He pitched 67 and 1/3 innings, which is that's a pretty high number. And he had a 3.48 ERA, which isn't like elite levels of ERA, but that's a pretty respectable number, especially for that amount of time. And in the majors, he pitched 16 and a third innings, and he's given up 8 runs. Most of those came at the tail end of that I think it was 2 separate. I think it was, I should have written this down, but I think it was 2 separate outings that he gave up a handful of runs that raised his ERA considerably. But his first 4 or 5 outings, he didn't give up a single run. So he's got some pretty cool stuff, and I think that between him, Pope, Garcia, I think Backus, Abner, and then Jameson and Amendt, I mean that's a pretty loaded group of guys. Now they're all new, they're all young. I do still think you need to be signing a handful of veteran pitchers. I think if Martinez and Puck were healthy, that would probably do the job. But and Ryan Thompson, I think, is probably reaching that point where he's seen a lot more, and he's been in a lot more innings, and he's got a lot more reps under his belt, and I think kind of can provide a little bit of that experience. But I do still think the Diamondbacks need to sign, I don't know, at least a few, like 2 or 3 other more experienced bullpen arms. They don't need to be, Edwin Diaz or anything like that. That'd be cool. It doesn't have to be, though. And I think that'll really round things out, especially if we can't figure out this whole Tommy John's thing with everybody needing Tommy John surgery. Because at this rate, Jameson's going to get injured within the first month, and then it's just going to go from there. So, but I mean, as far as who we have right now, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. My prediction is it's at least average, which again, as we've established, would get us into the playoffs every time. So, assuming our hitting stays the same, which I'm confident it probably will remain at least comparable to what it's been the last couple of years. So anyway, you guys, that's the show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow us on X and Instagram and TikTok at Locked On Diamondbacks. We're on YouTube as well as every other place you get your podcasts. If you want to see more of me, you can find more of my YouTube channels and projects at my website, slackjack.tv. Thank you for making Locked On Diamondbacks your first listen every day. And for your second listen, find the all-night Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, until a World Series champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.